Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we have some XRP news today. We have some Bitcoin news today, and we have some BRICS Nation and gold news. We'll see if we can get through all of that today. So we're going to start off here with this article, and it's about Grayscale reinvesting in XRP. So they're back. It says they now hold 16.7 million XRP after exiting Cardano. Like, this entire dynamic is very interesting and questionable to me. You see, when it comes to Grayscale, I keep in mind that a sword cuts both ways. A double-edged sword cuts both ways, and every shield has a reverse side. So this can work in one of two ways. Number one, sure, they must have learned about some kind of catalyst. Something made them bullish and want to jump back into XRP. Obviously, that's the first positive. And I could list at least 6 or 7 different things that are super bullish about XRP and are factual. Point blank. From on-demand liquidity. There's so many things, man. But also on the other side of that, Grayscale is one of those funds that has no loyalty and will sell on you and bring volatility while things are going up. They will bring that volatility to you heavy. I saw what they did with when Bitcoin was going up. They were the ones selling heavy at first, while the other institutions were buying. BlackRock and all the other ones, ARK Invest. Grayscale was the one, this is what I read in articles, that was selling and creating volatility. And so I don't put it past them. They could do the same thing to XRP. Obviously, they believe XRP is going to increase in value, or else they wouldn't have sold a very bullish Cardano, in my humble opinion. All the articles I've read, I read a lot of different, I read articles from a lot of different places. I've seen everything that says Cardano is insanely bullish into the future, unless something changes about that. So they must have saw something that makes them more bullish on XRP than Cardano, which says a lot. But once again, that price starts going up on XRP. Yeah, I would expect Grayscale to be the first to sell in mass. So I keep that in mind. It says after this rebalancing, XRP makes up 1.73% of Grayscale's DLC fund. Notably, Grayscale's DLC fund has $570 million, I'm rounding that off, in assets under management per record from its official website. All right, so let's move on from there. Move on to here. This article is titled, Pro XRP Lawyer Says SEC Loathes Ripple for Impeding its plan to control crypto for 3 years. Yeah, I would assume that they do and want to make an example out of them. That's what this whole $2 billion so-called fine is all about. They want to make an example out of Ripple. They want to cripple them, crush them, everything that they're not supposed to do as a regulatory agency, they're trying to do. The problem here with the SEC and a lot of different governmental entities is there is no one that is controlling them. There is no one that's going to punish them if they step out of line. There is no one that is actually doing something to bring justice to this situation. The people are supposed to have the power. The question is, why don't they? What's keeping the people from putting the SEC in its place? The people are so divided in every possible way. You can't win a battle and you can't have power when you are divided. Not as a people, not in your own mind, not in your spirit if you believe in such. You can't be divided anyway. You must be whole. You must be one. You must move forward as one. It's the way that battles are won. And so since the people are divided, they cannot hold the SEC accountable. There is no one that is a peer to the SEC, even though some of them pretend to call them out. Just pay attention to that. All the SEC is, they're abusing power. Judges have said that. But what have those judges do to bring justice to this situation, balance to this situation, however you want to phrase it? Nothing. Oh, the Congress says this about the SEC and that. But what have they done? Nothing. The people have to stop waiting on everyone else to do something for them. A lot of people are like that. They're waiting on someone to come rescue them. It just doesn't work that way. You have to rescue yourself. A lot of things in life are like that, unfortunately. The greatest darkness will come to you. And if you wait on some hero to come. It could be a very, very long period for you, not realizing that sometimes you are your own hero. So yes, it says here, the crypto community has slammed the United States Securities Exchange Commission over its remedy request against blockchain payments company Ripple Labs. Okay, but what did they do more than just talk? Like right now, in addition to what has already been done, you know, I'm let's scroll down here. It says it bears mentioning that the SEC made its remedies request against Ripple on March 22nd. In particular, the commission requested a whopping $1.95 billion in fines and penalties following Ripple's unregistered securities offering in the form of XRP institutional sales, which is hilarious to me considering all of the different corrupt things that have been exposed in the banking industry as of late, the last 2-3 months. And, you know, sure, they're getting fines, but nothing like this. Yeah, they've gotten fined. A lot of those banks have gotten fined. And also, they don't get this kind of publicity. Oh, man, you know, crypto is so bad. Ripple is so bad. But they never put that out in mass about the banks and the legacy system. But we know why. But see, the people, here's the thing about the people. The people will also go against crypto. The people will also go against Ripple. But the people very seldom will talk about the legacy system in that same way. The ones that hold their banking money, that they're getting robbed blind by the banks in a multitude of ways. You even see, like I said, you saw executives as of late be reported, executives of banks who stole millions of dollars from their clients. But they bury those articles. So the institutions don't go against that and the people don't go against that. But everybody jumps on crypto. But you want to win with crypto. Listen, I mean, I don't understand that. If you want something to win, you need to, in my humble opinion, it's not advice. But if someone wants something to win, until we get to victory, everybody stand in solidarity. We march toward the goal. After that, once we reach the goal, do whatever you want. But we haven't reached the goal yet. Okay, so let's stand together. Let's fight together. Crypto didn't do that. That's why Coinbase is about to experience what they're about to experience. You know, the lawyer denied them. I mean, the courts denied Coinbase what they were going for. And now they're going to be in for a long fight. But remember in the beginning, when I first got here in 2021, and I said all of crypto should stand together against the SEC. Did all of crypto do that? No, they didn't. They turned on Ripple. They turned on XRP. Back then, there was the XRP army, which was one. No, they turned the XRP army. A lot of those people turned on each other, and the broader crypto community turned on the XRP army. Right. So now the SEC is turning its sights on other exchanges, other crypto projects, other things in crypto. And it didn't have to be that way. If everyone stood together all at once, Ripple, Coinbase, Uphold, the people all together and said, no, we're not taking this anymore. We're going to stand firm and fight and throw all their money at the SEC, against the SEC all at once, we could have overwhelmed them, but we will never know now. Divided people fall. Divided. And it doesn't have to just be the people or institutions. Divided in one's mind, you will fall. Divided in one's heart, spirit, you will fall. Oneness at all times. In oneness, there is strength. In oneness, there is no confusion or chaos. There is no distraction. There is the clearest of thought in oneness. This is why peace is so important. It is another thing that I believe people have forgotten. There is too much chaos everywhere. Chaos in the minds. So much arguing. So much sorrow, depression, chaos everywhere. And so there is a lack of clear thinking. And with a lack of clear thinking, you cannot defeat your enemy. And it is very disadvantageous to have a lack of clarity when your enemy is upon you. And make no mistake about it, the enemy is here. And while the people fight each other, and while the institutions, the crypto institutions, have to fight the SEC, pay attention to how the lions of the legacy system have moved in to take over. And the division continues. So let's move on here. With having spoken on Coinbase, let's move on to the Coinbase article. So the Coinbase article here is titled, Coinbase set to face what Ripple suffered for over 3 years. But Coinbase chose this path. Once again, Coinbase, trying to be nice with the SEC, turned its back on Ripple. At one time, they had delisted XRP. They did not have to. They could have stood in solidarity with Ripple as Uphold did. Or they could have taken some pathways that Uphold took in order to keep XRP. But they could have shown that support. They did not. They pulled back. They only began associating with Ripple when it became advantageous to them, knowing that now the SEC had already sent them a letter, letting them know they were coming for them. Now they wanted to associate with Ripple, and we've seen the benefits of such because, the lawyers from Ripple's team have offered Coinbase help. But that little division, which was not little, was actually huge, means that they're going to have to walk through this fire alone now. All of crypto has gone its own ways. And now they will have to deal with the SEC one by one. We'll see how it shakes out. It says U.S. District Judge Catherine Polk Fila denies the motion from Coinbase to dismiss the SEC lawsuit, with exchange now set to endure a multi-year legal battle like Ripple. So now what's going to be the consequences for this when it comes to Coinbase? Because Coinbase delisted XRP. So what's going to happen to them? People turned away from Ripple and XRP because of the court case before XRP got its clarity, that is. So what's going to happen with Coinbase? Are people going to turn their backs on Coinbase as it battles the SEC, as the SEC claims that Coinbase has done things wrong? You see, I don't understand that dichotomic thinking, that dualistic thinking, that hypocrisy. You treat one way and another the other. There is no consistency to many of these things. It says here, court denies most of Coinbase motion in landmark ruling issued yesterday. The judge denied most of Coinbase's motion to dismiss the charges brought by the SEC last year. The court found that the securities agency had a plausible argument against the San Francisco-based agency. Is that so? As if the courts get everything right. They're just oh, man. I mean, can I say this? Earth is a strange place. A very, very strange place. Filled with flawed systems that have lingered from the past, that could be vastly improved or replaced. I'm not going to help them with my ideas of how to replace it, but I have many. However, judges, flawed individuals like everyone else, sit on a toilet like you, put on pants like you, do not know you, have not your best interest at heart. But the people will say, whatever the judge says, we go with. How favorable has that been, these systems? I mean, listen, hey, you don't have to agree with me. I'm not here to convince you of anything. But I am not pro holding on to things of the past, systems of the past, mind states of the past, not unless it is filled with wisdom. Wisdom. But I don't think wisdom would put one individual or a few individuals at the top and say, hey, we are going to control all of these various outcomes. These types of individuals, they become numb over time. And so their decision making, they become numb, they can become corrupt. This type of decision making is, after a while, it can be quite toxic. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these judges have seen so many wild court cases, they feel nothing. It's like being in surgery. You do enough surgeries, all of a sudden the blood doesn't matter to you anymore. You're a soldier or a police officer. You see enough, violence. It's like nothing to you now. That changes you. Your judgment is no longer that of a normal person. You can no longer, I would think, sympathize with normal people. Same with a judge. How much do they feel? For the people that this affects? How much do they know? To think that oneself is all knowing is, I would say, highly ignorant. Highly ignorant. To think that they're well versed on any of these particular technologies is beyond ridiculous, when even the institutions that are getting involved are continuously educating themselves. Then there is the corruption aspect. I always think about that. Coinbase, the best of luck to you. And really, I should say all the best of you. I shouldn't say luck. My father would tell me, Mick, don't say luck. There is no luck. And I feel like he's correct. But I still use the word anyway. Best of luck to Coinbase. Let's move on here. So now, this article here is titled, Whale Holding $597 million in Bitcoin Sends BTC to Binance After Being Dormant for 8 months. It's right before the halving. Expect a lot of this to happen. A Bitcoin whale with nearly $600 million in Bitcoin has deposited a large amount of its coins to Binance, the largest crypto exchange in the world. According to blockchain tracking firm Look On Chain, a whale that's been dormant for the past 8 months sent over $74 million in Bitcoin to Binance and still holds onto $597 million worth of Bitcoin. Quote, okay, and then they go over it again. They repeat themselves so much in these articles. All right, well, listen. There's going to be a lot of selling, but then there's a question of balance as to how much institutions are continuously buying. I think they have something like that here. It says Look On Chain also has its radar locked on crypto giant Grayscale. Grayscale rears its head again. According to the firm, Grayscale shed $77 million worth of Bitcoin on Friday, but is still holding on to nearly $22 billion worth of Bitcoin to back its exchange-traded fund. Interesting. It says, quote, Grayscale decreased 1,154 BTC and currently holds 326,859 BTC. BlackRock added 2,062 BTC and currently holds 259,381 BTC. That's interesting. See how BlackRock just keeps adding. They keep adding, especially when it's down. 9 ETFs, including Grayscale, added 3,417 BTC. See, and that's the big institutions. They're onto something. They know something's coming. They just keep adding. I'm not seeing a lot of selling from them at all. They have a net inflow chart here that I'm looking at here, and it says, well, as ARK 21 shares, ARK Invest. Wait, let me scroll up. My apologies. It says plus 175 BTC. That's interesting. I would have thought they had much more. That's still respectable. Oh, but they sold. See, there's a balance here, minus 764 BTC. So they sold and they bought some. But then you have Van Eck, for example. You have Van Eck, who has plus 367 Bitcoin in the one-day net inflow, but then they have plus 763 Bitcoin on the 7-day net inflow. Valkyrie plus 50 on the 1 day, plus 105 on the 7-day. Then you have Franklin Bitcoin ETF on the 1 day, 0, but on the 7-day, plus 58. So there's a lot of, most of these they're just buying and holding. A lot of these big organizations. That's interesting to me. That's very bullish to me. The big money is betting that Bitcoin is going to go up. This is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It's just my humble opinion from looking at this data here. Don't make up your own mind about things. Fidelity had plus 1,552 BTC on the 1 day, plus 5,597 BTC on the 7 day. So there's a lot of accumulation and just holding going on. Of course, they're selling, ARK selling, Grayscale selling, right? And then whatever other organization this is about to sell as well. So there's a balance there, but the really big money is holding. That's something I'm gonna keep my eye on. So now let's move on here. I was gonna do a commercial real estate article, but we'll skip that one there. Let's go on here to this article here. This is another Bitcoin article, and it's titled Miners Offload Bitcoin in Anticipation of Reward Halving, says CryptoQuant. So then they're selling from the miners now. So you can see why there's a lot of volatility right now. So the biggest institutions are buying and holding, but there's a lot of other, entities selling at the same time. It says here, which is like, I know that sounds very basic, but when you look at the numbers, you're like, okay, I see why Bitcoin keeps going up and down, down, down. Then it goes up again. You can see why these particular things are happening and that it can't continue forever. So the question is, what happens when the selling pressure goes away? It starts to go up, right? There is especially with the halving coming, everyone's getting ready for the halving and a possible explosion afterwards. What happens then, right? It says record sales to OTC desks mark Bitcoin miners prep for a reward cut. Currently at a block height of 837,984, there are precisely 2,016 blocks remaining until the forthcoming Bitcoin block halving event, which will reduce the reward from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.12 Bitcoin. CryptoQuant, in a report shared on the social media platform X last Friday, shed light on how Bitcoin miners will need to innovate, quote, innovate and improve, unquote, post-halving. In examining revenue against hash price, CryptoQuant's analysis observed that despite daily revenues reaching new peaks, the miner hash price has plummeted by 30% compared to levels before the last halving, indicating a decline in earnings per unit of computational work. All right, the analysis, my goodness, I completely mutilated that word. The analyst also pointed out that Bitcoin mining operations are currently divesting their Bitcoin holdings in advance of the fourth halving event. And that's what I thought. That's what I was just saying. See, so we got that right. All right. So now let's move on here. We had 3 articles left. We only have time to do one. We have a Bricks Nation article. You know what? I'll save that one for the members only section. We have one gold article about China. And then we have another gold article about Bricks Nation. Let's do the one about China. Let's do the article about China. China always is doing something interesting with gold. And by interesting, I mean they buy a lot of gold, right? Which has helped that price to stay high. China's central bank purchased gold for its reserves for a 17th straight month. They're getting ready. In March, extending a long buying spree that has helped the precious metal surge to a record. Bullion held by the People's Bank of China rose to 72.74 million fine troy ounces last month, according to official data released on Sunday. The precious metal has been on a tear in the last 2 months, hitting a procession of records on expectations that lower U.S. interest rates are on the horizon. Yeah, they keep on saying that. They keep on saying it's coming, and it never comes. It never happens. Central bank buying, and I don't think it has anything to do with that. We all know Bricks Nation is getting ready for some sort of digital currency. They want to back it with gold. Then on top of that, even if they didn't have a digital currency, they don't want to use the U.S. dollar anymore. So then once again, you would need gold. So that's really what it has to do with, in my humble opinion. So central bank buying has also seen a significant driver of its strength since 2022. Global central banks led by China and India continued adding to their gold reserves in February, marking a 9th straight month of growth, according to the World Gold Council. China's official reserve assets rose to the highest since November 2015. The country's foreign exchange reserves rose to 3.24 trillion by the end of March, the highest since December 2021, as the central bank aims to maintain stable holdings to fend off risks. They rose 0.6% from February and were up 1.9% from a year earlier. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.